Hello all, welcome to our yin class. My name is Tammy. Our theme for our class is yin for dreaminess. So that'll help us come into our restful state, our stillness, relaxation in our physical body and our mind. Beginning for class, we'll have our pillows or bolster, moving it in to our space here on our mat. And I'll turn this way. I'll have my front of my mat going this way. Turning in, we'll tuck our right hip in towards the pillows or bolster first. So it'll look like this. You may bring your legs straight, or you could have your knees bent. So straight for a little bit of change, hips stacked on top of each other. We come up and over top of our pillows. You may let the right cheek rest, or turning the head so that the left cheek rests, and so a bigger twist in towards the spine. And a deeper stretch into the cervical spine. So try that out, knees bent, and we've done it this way several times, but if your legs are straight, what would that feel like? Finding the stillness. Still being present. Notice your breath. With this big twist, does it make it a little bit harder for inhaling and exhaling? Will you draw a breath, inhaling, exhaling through the nose? Are we opening up through their chest, abdomen? Are our lungs expanding? Yeah. And we come out of the twist nice and slow. If you had the turn of the head, so coming out of the twist, gently turning your head and coming up. I've tucked myself in here to my chair. I've had to move it over a little bit here with my legs, but that was okay. And now into our other side. Tucking your hip in towards your pillows. We lift up and over. This time the left cheek can rest, or the twist again and our right cheek rests. You may like to have your legs straight again. I don't have anything in front of me, so I can have my legs straight, my hips stacked on top of one another. Coming out of this twist, again, nice and slow. If you added the extra twist that you were looking the opposite way, just nice and careful with the head and coming out. And moving any of those props over to the side. Did you notice if your breathing became easier when you moved into the second side of the pose? So you were able to open up and it was easier, or about the same? Coming over to the side of the body, lying down, and our next pose is stirrup, or happy baby. First of all, we'll take the knees into the chest and hold the knees in. Now turn your knees out to the armpits. You may let the legs hang. So we're just letting the legs dangle, feet down, holding underneath of the knee pits, or you may hold onto the ankles. So turn the knees out a little bit more to the armpits, hold onto the ankles. The legs may also come up, holding onto the ankles or the outside edges of the feet. You can do a rock side to side. This always is a nice movement for our spine. Massage. And then happy baby. Stirrup pose. We hold into our state of dreaminess. We're still present. Noticing our physical body, using our breath to help our physical body. So the exhale breath, release into the ground. The inhale breath, feeling open, supported. The exhale breath, letting go. Softness, release. This lovely pose is to be coming to an end here. So when we do come out of it again, nice and slow, bringing both of the legs together. Oh, I'm really talking really well. And tuck the knees into the chest for cradle. And take a moment here. Now bring the legs up straight for legs up the wall. Point. Flex the feet. And easier for our blood to come back to our heart. And flex the feet, pushing our heels up towards the sky. And back to cradle, tuck the knees in. Now right foot, left foot down towards the ground. Feet coming wider than the hips. Windshield wiper, knees side to side, arms out in line with the shoulders, and then just tip one way, the other way. Turn your head the opposite way of the knees. So as you bring the knees one way, turn the head the opposite. Back to center. Step your right foot, left foot in towards the center. Bring the right arm overhead, roll over to your right side to fetal. And make your way back up. spinal, butterfly for our next pose. This is when you need props again. And I'm going to use my pillows, one on each side of my mat. Then I'm going to have those supports for my knees, placing the bottom of your feet together. Supports for underneath your knees, could be blocks too. And just a little shift through the body here onto your sits bones. You lift up towards the sky with your upper body. And now come up and over top with the fold, forward fold. The forehead may rest. So whatever you have that you want to use, it could be a block, it could be pillows. It's nice to use your hands. So if you can rest your elbows too, you don't have to come down as far, or your elbows down to the mat. With letting the forehead rest onto your hands. Now with every inhale breath, opening up through our spine. With every exhale breath, let the body sink into the ground a little bit more. Being present, so being aware of our breath. Being aware of what our breath can do to help our body. Inhale for opening, support. Exhale for letting go. Let yourself drift into our state of dreaminess a little bit longer. Coming out of butterfly, we make our way back up. Taking the hands behind and our legs forward, giving a little shake and release. Removing our props to the side, keeping one prop. Actually, we'll move them to the side right now. So bending through the knees and take them over to the side. Come to all fours into downward facing dog here. So from all fours, sit the right hand forward, left hand forward. Coming up, three-legged dog. Raise the right leg up into the sky. Bend through the knee and step onto the outside of the right wrist for dragon. Now, this big lunge, drop your hips down towards the ground. So draw the pelvis down. You may hold here or knees coming down. And just find where it's okay for you to be. Adding a bit of a deeper stretch into the outside of the right hip by coming down to the forearms. Now I'm taking pressure off the wrists. Let our head hang. And we sink our hips a little bit deeper into the ground. So draw down. Three more cycles of breath. Coming back to downward facing dog. Or child's pose, you may take a break there. Three-legged dog into the other side now. Lift the left leg up, bend through the knee, step onto the outside of the left wrist. Here you may hold, gripping your mat with your finger pads, so taking the pressure off the wrists if you are here, and draw pelvis down. Or making your way down towards the knees. Still the same idea, you're gripping your mat with your finger pads to help take pressure off the wrists. Draw the pelvis down. Or the bigger stretch into the outside of the hip. The elbows may come down. You may rest your elbows onto a pillow here too, if you want. If it's not too high and not too awkward, it might be a little bit awkward because then pillows are not flat. And breathe. More cycles of breath. One more cycle of breath, inhaling and exhale. Now making our way back out of dragon to downward facing dog, or it is child's pose. And now everyone to child's pose. Uncurl the toes, sit back into the heels. The arms may be forward, or your arms are by the side of the body. You may also turn your knees out to the side or line the side of your body too. So side of the mat, arms may be forward, finding which way you like to do child's pose for yourself. This is such a lovely pose for helping us to really start to relax. Go. Coming out of child pose, move into dragonfly. Dragonfly is sitting in a V seat. So taking the legs nice and open into our V, and pillows or a bolster, place it between your thighs. You may have another pillow or two above, so when we add that forward fold, you'll have support. With an inhale breath, we draw up. The exhale breath, come up and over. You may also use your elbows, place them onto your props and let the forehead rest. You can let the cheek rest too. Your arms may come down by the side of the body. Sometimes it's nice to let the forehead rest to help you to feel grounded. So where would you like to be? Coming back to our theme of dreaminess, letting go. Lovely thoughts. Making our way out of dragonfly. Are you able to let yourself rest a little bit longer here? Feel rested. Take the props forward, bending through both the knees. You can windshield wiper through the knees or take your knees to the side. For our next pose is tadpole. And tadpole is opening up through our inner thighs again, a little bit differently though. So first make your way to all fours. Turn the knees out. Keep them on your mat. Now the feet are going to turn out. So it's not that your feet are down, they turn out. Bring them down to your forearms. Hold here. Now I'm only bringing them out to the edges of my mat. However, if I wanted a little bit more of an opening, then I would turn, and I want that support still for my body. So before you come into stillness, maybe you want to open up your legs a little bit more. And again, turning the toes out. So I open my legs up a little bit more. I'm coming down. And now drop my pelvis down towards the ground. We had our last pose opening up through the inner thighs. Now here, using our body as that force pressing down. And breathe. Forehead may rest. Nice to stack fists, let the forehead rest. And tadpole is coming to a close here. So we can make our way back out, making our way up, and then onto the front of the body for Sphinx. In prone, we have our forearms down towards the ground. Uncurl the toes, pubic bone down. Imagine ice cubes underneath the belly button and then lifting up. Hold for Sphinx. Draw the elbows down away from the ears. If you wanted to have a pillow or a rolled up blanket, something in maybe a more of a rectangular shape underneath the chest to let it rest, you could do that. So this is a nice strong pose for our back. You may let the head go. So let the head hang down towards the ground. One more cycle of breath, the inhale and exhale. With the exhale breath, keep letting yourself go down. So in Shavasana on the front of the body, let the right cheek rest, arms by the side of the body. Coming into half bow, so turning the head, bringing the left arm forward. Hold on to the right ankle with your right hand. Pelvic tilts, pushing the right side of the hip in towards the ground. As if you're kicking your foot away, so pushing away, but pressing the hip into the ground. Let the forehead rest on the forearm. Now come out of half bow. Let the left cheek rest on the ground for Shavasana. Into the other side for half bow. Bringing the right arm up and pelvic tilt the left side. So hold on to the left ankle, pelvic tilt. I'm so sorry I never said, but if this is not accessible to you right now, I'll show you. Just lie on the side of the body and then pelvic tilt that way and hold on to the ankle. Okay, so now here we pelvic tilt. Your foot away as you do the pelvic tilt and the forehead rests. And now out of half row, we release and come back to child's pose. Hold for a moment. And make your way up. Come into easy pose. Right leg crossed in front of the left leg. Cross your arms in front of the chest and pull down on the shoulders. Give yourself a hug. Little tip of the chin towards the chest. Which arm is crossed in front? Which leg is crossed in front? Bringing the head back up. Release the arms down. Uncrossing the legs. We cross our legs the other way. Now, I have to cross the opposite way for my arms too. So crossing the arms the opposite way and arms on the hands on the shoulders and then pull down. Let the chin tip, little tip towards the chest. Head coming up, releasing the arms. Take your arms by the side of the body and now take your arms behind, intertwine your fingers, draw the arms down. So press down, lift the arms up towards the sky, a little tip of the chin towards the chest again. Breathe. Every time you exhale, let the shoulders release a little bit more. Shoulder blades down the back. The next exhale breath, I want you to release hands, arms back to the side, head coming up. Come over to the side of the body and lying down onto our back. Supine, right knee, left knee in towards the chest, coming back to cradle. It was probably halfway through our class that we did cradle, so coming back to it. Now bring the legs up and over. So our spinal twist here to the left side. Arms in line with the shoulders. Turn the head the opposite way. The knees. Feel a support underneath your body. Feel yourself able to let go. Release relax. The opening into the shoulder. Now our head comes back towards the center. And legs come back towards the center. And up and over to the other side. Turning the head the opposite way, please. Now feeling that big opening into the left side of the shoulder. Sir, rotator cuff. Lovely spine twist. We did this one earlier when we were onto our toes, bolster, right on top. This one being more open, the upper body. Head coming back to the center. Legs coming back to the center towards cradle and hug. Maybe rock side to side. Maybe forwards and backwards. And then for our final pose, Shavasana, corpse pose, or pentacle. You may lie on your back, knees bent, legs straight. You can have your legs resting maybe on something too. If you had a chair that you wanted to rest your legs, or use the wall. You lie on the side of the body. Nice and warm. So if you have a blanket handy, you can place it over top of the body. We let our body soften a little bit more here to allow fascia and joints to release. Our mind to drop into stillness and quiet. We move into our dreamy state. I will call you back when it is time. Coming out of Shavasana, a dreamy state of Nidra, between wake and sleep. Notice your breath. Feel a softness from the inside out. Feeling calm. Happy. Relaxed. You wiggle your toes and your fingers. Shift through the body. And if you're lying down, you can bend through the right knee, the left knee. Take the right arm overhead and roll over to your right side to fetal. We pause here for a moment and then make our way up to seated. Placing your hands to your heart center. Thank you very much for sharing your practice with me, your time with me. Time for yourself. Namaste.